Hi, Core Chemistry. Mrs. KJ here, going over Part 2, 5.04, Types of Reactions. All right, so electricity can cause water to decompose. Water can decompose into hydrogen and oxygen in a process called electrolysis. So if we break this down, we have electricity, which happens because of electrons, and lysis, which you might remember from lysosomes in biology class, break apart. If an electric current is passed through water, the water will decompose into hydrogen and oxygen. During the electrolysis of water, the following reaction occurs. 2 molecules of water plus electricity yields 2 molecules of dihydride plus dioxide. This reaction has applications in the study of alternative fuels, particularly hydrogen-powered engines. So if you notice here, it's not like we're sticking a wire from your outlet into some water. No, that is extremely dangerous. So here we're using a controlled source. We have our water and our gases. All right. So the electricity go through, and you can see that there's also some metal plates at the end, and you can see some bubbles. So what happens in this is the water is in the beaker, obviously, and the test tubes are filled with water, and then they're inverted. They're placed upside down in here, and they don't show the clamps, but in real life, obviously, there has to be clamps holding these on here. And then what happens is the hydrogen is collected on one side and the oxygen on the other. So you can see these bubbles coming up here, and the gases push the water down into the beaker, and you end up with a test tube full of oxygen gas and a test tube full of hydrogen gas. And if you put a glowing piece of wood in it, a glowing splinter, so in other words, by glowing, I mean that think of like a match when it's almost all the way blown out and you can just see that it's a tiny bit burning like an ember at the end. If you put that in here, in the hydrogen, it goes boop, just kind of like that. It's like a little boop, and it's a little higher pitch than boop. And it can actually be really loud. If you have a really big container, it can be really loud, like hurt your ears loud. And then the oxygen causes the ember to burst back into a big flame. So this is actually one of the experiments that I do miss for brick and mortar school. Calcium carbonate is a compound that can undergo a decomposition reaction. Marble and limestone are common building materials. These rocks are often used in statues or other decorative features on buildings because they are easily carved and quite beautiful. Limestone and marble are composed of calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Calcium carbonate is fairly stable under normal conditions and will not break down easily. However, the addition of heat can change things. Look at the following chemical equation. So we have calcium carbonate, breaks down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Notice that the calcium carbonate has broken down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. This decomposition reaction occurs over a period of time and will wear away a marble or a limestone statue. So that's why they start to crumble over time. Chemical reactions fall into at least 3 different categories. We'll learn about 2 more in the next lesson. We have our combustion reactions, so it reacts with oxygen, and what's one of the products again? Energy. So reactants plus oxygen yields products plus energy. Synthesis, synthesize means to make, so we're taking multiple reactants and making one product. The decomposition is the opposite. We are going to break it down, decompose. So we have one reactant to make multiple products. There are exceptions to these simple rules, but keeping them in mind will go a long way to help you recognize some types of chemical reactions. Great. Check over your notes. Make sure you're ready before you take the quiz. As always, if you have questions, let me know.